January 5th, 2022. At this time, I'd like to request everyone either turn off or silence your electronic devices. Thank you. Get started. Chief Hicks, will you lead us in the pledge?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call the Public Safety Committee to order to establish a quorum. May we have a roll call?
Mr. Riviere.
Here.
Ms. Lacy.
Here.
Ms. Gordon.
Here.
One present.
Thank you. Item number 4, the Police Department report. Chief Hicks.
Happy New Year to everybody. Mayor and the Public Safety Committee, in order to keep both yourself and the City Council aware of the activities that Port Allen Police Department are offered to account for the month of December 2021. Alarm home businesses, 41, assistant Port Allen Fire Department, 19, shots fired, 4, disturbance, 23, theft, 13, suspicious activity, 9, damage to property, 6, check person, 16, battery, 5, civil matter, 5, information, 7, Port Allen Fire Department Medical, 28, incidents by location, northeast of Court Street and LA 167, northwest of Court Street and LA 164, southeast of Court Street and LA 143, and southwest of Court Street and LA 187, and south by 1022. Total suspects arrested was 13, traffic crashes 31, traffic tickets 17.
Chief, what is the information mean? What is that about?
Information is people calling in, saying, reporting anything that's going on, anonymous callers, people saying that this is going on, that is going on, so that's where the information comes from.
And missing person, have y'all found them or are they still missing or what? It just two.
Two. I don't regulate if they are all still missing, but I think they have been found.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else for Chief Hicks? Thank you, Chief.
One thing, Chief, I had a complaint from Mr. Kim Anderson, who mentioned, he's clearing out that property by the park. He developed that property, and he said that this past week somebody was dumping trash and furniture back in that area. I know it's a dead-end location, but just have them make regular patrol, the officer make regular patrol back there late at night.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
that's the parish, the area? Still, really? I didn't know that, but it's the parish.
And we had a fatal accident that occurred on Main Street. Right before Christmas, a young man was hit and killed on our streets. And, seemed like Port Allen Police Department was out on the scene and the sheriff department. So we thank everybody. I know that was kind of rough.
Yes, it was.
Even for the resident, the community, the family. So we definitely send our condolences to the family. And it just was a tragic event. It was a tragic occurrence.
That it was.
I had a couple of people ask me about speed bumps, so I kind of told them that we had went against, looking at speed bumps at one time before. But maybe we need to add it up with making sure we have the speed limit sign, so people just maybe adhere to the speed limits and maybe have some patrol, and just so people could just be more aware of their speed coming through the residential neighborhoods.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Item number 5, the nuisance violation
Happy New Year and good evening, Councilman.
Hey,
Yes. I have nothing for the month of December, but what I did was I printed out a report for the total year of 2021. So which I have in front of y'all is for everything that happened for 2021 that I've been working on. And like I say, some of them are in progress, in process, in progress or whatever whatnot, and some of them been closed, and we have a bunch of them. There's a total of 108. That's a matter of fact. Y'all have any questions or anything about any properties or anything like that?
All these people in violation of what? High grass?
Some of them high grass, some of them are, like keeping the ones yard, like if they have junk and everything in the front of the yard. Nuisance violations as far as, junk and abandoned vehicles and things like that.
I see a resident out here that I know high grass, that lady, her yard together. She a stickler behind her yard.
So have you contacted any of these people on here?
I
Or you
sent
just
them
gave them a
all-
notice?
Yeah, I sent them all notices and, like I said, some of them actually does it, and like I said, the one that don't, you see they have a bunch of, they have a lien by it.
There's a whole lot of names on this list.
that's what I hope.
And it's kind of the weather, you know,
It's,
cool, no?
it's like some of them occur numerous of times on there. That's to show y'all how many times in a year that I have to actually keep going back to property.
Well, I don't see the house on South 12th Street on here.
South 12th, that's why I say, the one on South 12th and South 12th.
It's South 12th. Is it South 12 or South 14?
No, South 14.
South 14.
Yeah.
Need some water?
You need to go outside.
Thank you.
You need to go outside.
Yeah, Mr. Hubble, all choked
Yeah.
up.
Got us thrown off.
If y'all need anything, all right. Yeah, we
You
just.
got some work? Oh,
You need a pepper?
Item number 6, discuss adoption of West Baton Rouge hazard mitigation plan as presented by West Baton Rouge Parish Homeland Security.
Committee last approached the hazard mitigation plan in 2016. It's a recurring issue that we have to revisit from time to time. I received the updated plan yesterday, and this item is just to notify you that you will receive emails of the actual plan and be expected to vote on it next week. It's just a renewal, but a brief description is hazard mitigation is defined as sustained actions taken to reduce or eliminate long-term risks from hazards and their effects. Hazard mitigation planning is the process through which natural hazards that threaten communities are identified, likely impacts of those hazards are determined, mitigation goals are set, and appropriate strategies that would lessen the impacts are determined, prioritized, and implemented. In that regard, this plan documents the West Baton Rouge Parish Hazard Mitigation Plan update process, identifies natural hazards and risks within the parish, and identifies the parish's hazard mitigation strategy to make West Baton Rouge Parish and its jurisdictions less vulnerable and more disaster resilient. It also includes mitigation project scoping to further identify scopes of work, funding sources, and implementation timing requirements of proposed selected mitigation projects. Information in the plan will be used to help guide and coordinate mitigation and local policy decisions affecting future land use. The West Baton Rouge Parish Hazard Mitigation Plan is a multi-jurisdictional plan that includes the following jurisdictions which participated in the planning process: West Baton Rouge Parish, Town of Agnes, Town of Brooklyn, and the City of Port Allen. So we'll email you all the actual plan itself tomorrow. can peruse that plan and be prepared to, renew it at next week's council.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Okay, item 7, adjourn.
Call to order, establish a quorum. Roll call, please.
Ms. Gordon,
Present.
Mr. Riviere,
Here.
Mr. Brown.
Here.
One present.
Item 4, discuss PEC recommendation to award Phase X Road Rehabilitation Project to low bidder M-Track LLC in the amount of $330,258.
Good evening, my name is Chelsea Lambert, I'm with PEC, the engineering firm. Mr. Lance, do you want the original?
Sure.
Yeah, and I think I put a copy of the bid tabulation up there for everyone. So if you remember, we came and we talked about doing, it's gonna be Avenue G, South 12th Street, and South 14th Street, or what we called the base bid, so that was our main priority. And with prices being so crazy with COVID, we didn't know if we would get everything that we hoped to get done. So the original base bid was Avenue G, South 12th, South 14th. And then we said, if we can, we'll squeeze in calendula and eucalyptus. The bid for all of the streets, everything, came in at right under $350,000, which is our usual annual spending that we have for streets. So our recommendation was to do everything. The base bid being Avenue G, South 12, South 14, and the additive alternate of calendula and eucalyptus. Any questions?
You said you can't add the other 2 streets in?
We can, that's our recommendation to do both.
Or the low bidder.
I'm sorry?
Could you address M-Track? I don't think they did before, but it's my understanding they came from a former company that we dissolved.
So they used to be Coastal Process. I don't know if that name sounds familiar with them, with anyone. We have worked with them before and we had successful projects. There's just been issues with timing, so we just make sure that we stay on top of them.
Is that, what, Coastal Bridge? I've never heard of Coastal Process.
I think it was Coastal Bridge. Yeah.
There's both.
Yeah, Coastal Process does wastewater and stuff for us.
Okay.
That's why I asked the question, because I'm not familiar with who they are now. I just know that there was a question that was raised. The mayor actually asked that question, he stepped out. I thought you had more information.
I didn't know it was put you on the spot.
Yeah.
I've just never heard of Coastal Process, just, yeah.
And who's
What's the name of the bridge or process?
I'm sorry, 2 questions at one time. two questions at one time. We're gonna try to stay on top of them, I know the mayor's gonna try to stay on top of them.
Right.
We know that we need to do that, and we're just gonna make sure that we do.
Lance, then. He goes,
Is this the company that, I'm not sure if you was here then, right? That, the Avenue D?
No, that's not the same company to my knowledge. All I know is that this company, I think, originated out of a former company. The mayor's back now, he may have a little bit more information on M-Track and who their predecessor company was. It was Coastal Bridge and Coastal Process.
Bridge.
Coastal Bridge.
Okay.
Okay,
So
so
box six.
I know that the conversation took place once the bids came in, but it was a public bid process. They all did a little bit, so we kind of stuck there, so, we
But I
just
do
have to.
like the idea of us adding
Right.
calendula and eucalyptus, and we can do it.
Yeah,
And the whole thing is right under 350.
yeah.
and the project will cost us $300, right?
That was our estimation.
So, yeah, we were way.
That's what we were expecting. I think when, that was what we were estimating, we said it was okay to spend up to $375, I believe, was what our cap was for the city. So to come under is good, and we were able to do what we want to.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Did I answer your question?
Yeah, they did.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Adjourn.
Community Development Committee, item number 1, call to order. Item number 3, establish quorum. Item number 3, roll call.
Mr. Brown,
Here.
Ms. Lacy,
President.
Mr. Hubble.
Here.
Form present.
All right, item number 4, update on community development activities, Ms. Rosa.
Chairman Brown, members of the committee, members of the council, elected officials, and guests here, good evening. As we look back on the month of December, we're very grateful for the businesses and individuals who helped us to sponsor our events that were held around the holiday season. Along with the wonderful events sponsored by West Baton Rouge Parish and West Baton Rouge Tourist Commission, the museum, the library, God's Children Ministries, and the other local nonprofits in Port Allen, the citizens really had a full holiday season. Our senior citizens holiday deal, we want to actually recognize those folk that help us to make it happen this year. And for our meals, our Bergeron Fine Meats, Mooney Bergeron is the owner, Chef Mike Cass. The meals were wonderful, everybody had take-homes, I think our senior citizens really, really enjoyed it. Our music was provided by Ernest Scott, but was sponsored by Big Brown Cares Foundation. Our decorations were provided by Decorations by Pam, but was sponsored by Entergy. Our door prizes were sponsored by Pam Collins, Mayor Richard Lee, and Westside Assistant Living. It was just a great time had by all. I didn't see anything but smiles. If y'all saw anything less than smiles, my goodness, I think the folk were really ready to get out. They came, they were dressed up and ready to go. Want to thank our council persons for coming out to help serve and to help make everybody comfortable and to get everything going. Yes, sir.
4 of those senior citizens asked me if we had mixers for their drinks that we were serving.
Well, let me tell you how I spoiled them. When we did our senior roundup in the spring, we were given a crawfish. And then somebody said that they couldn't have crawfish without beer, and we actually got beer donated.
Yeah.
And then I had to get Chief to come there to watch who we gave the beer to. But after they got that, they were happy. Then somebody said, "Y'all got anything stronger than this?" I'm like, "But you got crawfish."
They ready.
Yeah, they were ready. And of course, you're over 60, 65. They really had a great time.
Ms.
So-
Rose.
Yes, ma'am.
What was the name of the band? Everybody kept asking what was the
Ernest
name
Scott.
of the band.
Yes, Ernest Scott.
That's the name of Ernest
Yes, ma'am.
Scott? I mean, they love the band. They kept saying, "Who's that band?" I say,
Yeah.
"Oh, I don't know, but we
Yeah,
have
but
it every
He
year."
played music that they can sing to. And
Yeah, are they from Port Allen or Baton Rouge?
They're from West Baton Rouge Parish.
Okay.
They're not from Baton Rouge, they're from around the Irvingville area.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it was my first experience, with serving for the Christmas, the senior Christmas dinner, and I tell you, it was an honor and a privilege, because I know one day I have to be a senior.
But this was actually our 6th year, Mayor, am I correct? Normally, they actually had to get in the line to be served, but because of COVID, I think this really worked, and we got them prepared
Yeah,
food.
I think it was
And
much
we were
better
able
than
to just
sit
give it
down.
out to them, and we had the canned drinks, that kind of worked real well for them, and they seemed to really enjoy it. They didn't get on the floor as much as they normally do, but they stayed at their seats, and they were bouncing their heads, and they were dancing, and they just had a blast.
I mean, it was just an honor to see some of the, pride of my teachers and just people in the neighborhood, and it's getting the honor to really serve them just personally.
And we know that we're well
warmed my
aware,
heart.
we're well aware that the Council on Aging does wonderful services for the seniors, but these type of social events that are geared to the senior citizens in Port Allen, we don't stop other folk from coming, but it's geared for our folk to do something, and they like that little extra. And I know that, but once again, we're not putting no salt on Council on Aging, but this is something a little extra that they get to do. They get to come out in the evening, get to dress up, man, it's a blast. So we got our
I know, Rose, I had like 2 people inbox me, and they asked me, "Well, is it just for the city of Port Allen? Because my husband's 87 and I'm 88, and we live in Riviere." I said, "Sure, come on. It's for everyone.
Right.
You're a senior citizen,
Right.
come on out."
Right.
And I don't know if they was there because I didn't know who they were, but I just told them it's for everybody.
Right,
Whether you live in Port Allen or not.
meant for the citizens of Port Allen, but we did not eliminate anybody if they came.
Right.
We always entertain them, and it's a fun time. We have proposals out for our senior roundup, and hopefully if COVID dies down around April or May, we can do that. That's an outside event. that we do for them, and the last time we did it, we only did it one time. They came in their cowboy boots and their
Yeah,
jeans,
I was there.
and we were out there flicking the lights on and we tried to go home, you know.
But
They
it
were
was-
having a great time.
It was a real good turnout. I mean, I was really surprised to see the senior citizens out with COVID out.
Yeah.
But they all was there and they all had a good time
They
and,
had
you
their
know, they
mask on,
enjoyed
yeah.
their food.
Yeah.
And they stayed a long time. They didn't just eat and leave. They stayed the whole time
They
while the
enjoyed
band was
it.
playing. So I think that was a real huge success.
Yeah,
I really
and
think
of
that
course,
was
the
good.
door prizes help people in there too. So,
Right.
you know, that did to anything, so that was fun. We did, once again, I don't know, we'll have to go back and evaluate among the council what we would want to do about Christmas on Court Street. Of course, to get the carnival rides there, you have to do a 3-day event. We're gonna try to do something, with the carnivals in the spring, you know. when
That
it
was a
doesn't
good
rain so
idea
much.
too. It's just the rain hurt us.
Right,
That's
I
all.
have a thought about that, and I know, Councilman Hubble can speak. Every time we had something on this piece of property, and December 23rd was our favorite day, it rains. Now, y'all can say what y'all want about being on
It
this
must be cursed then.
this piece of property. I mean, and it would come just as soon as we would start entertaining, and sometimes it would clear up right after the entertainment. So we not year before last, when we did Christmas on Court Street, and we did the whole weekend, beautiful. It was beautiful, so I don't know, we'll have to evaluate that, but, the first day and a half went off quite well. We had great sponsors for that. Essential Credit Union came in, and the lottery, and of course Mayor Lee kicked in with his support for it, and we really appreciate everybody doing all the great things that they did for our citizens of Port Allen, and hopefully this is something that can grow. For the month of January, we got a lot of stuff that's going on in Port Allen, not necessarily sponsored by the city, but supported by the city. With our upcoming months, we have this free workshop for the creative spark, to create creative spark in writing and photography, and of course it's free at the West Baton Rouge Museum. You can get further information on their website, but it will start on January 4th and go through March 29th. So for anybody that's 55 and over, this is something else for our senior citizens to do. And the museum is just great, working with us and our citizens and the things they do. The Cafe Francois, which is on January the 7th, the old time music, and the closing celebration of the Folsom Redemption is January the 9th. The Cajun Jam on January 16th, the Historical Happy Hour USO Dance, January 24th, and of course, they always have the free monthly yoga over there. So they're working hard too within the city to keep us going and to have some things going for our citizens. And because they're located here, we really get the benefit for what they do with the parish dollars. This year, I'm really smiling because I think we're gonna get some things great going with our National Day of Service. As y'all know, in prior years, I've came and I've kind of asked, and we're just getting a spark going, but we're working with the volunteers who are employees of Dow Chemical, and they will come in and work within the city. Inspector Gidry and I have been going through and trying to see where the needs are. We know one of the projects that they will do will be the cleaning of the graveyard, and we've also had one request from a church to build a ramp for a handicapped citizen, and we're just trying to see if we can do a cleanup at one of the homes, but we have to clear it with, you know, the ownership, make sure the folk own it, make sure they give us permission. This is not the employees of the city. These are private citizens. We're only a catalyst that the private citizens will be going and helping them do it, so they will have to do releases for that. Of course, January 17th is the National Day of Service, so we're excited about making some things happen in the city of Port Allen. If we do the ramp, and if y'all got anything else in a small project that need to be done by the house, Dow is going to let us have a small grant. It does not cost the city anything right now to get all these things done. So we're excited about that, and I think I saw Council Lady Lacy when we were on Georgia Street trying to inspect some property to see if we can kind of do something to help the citizens out there. So maybe another day or so if y'all got some other areas, but I need it like ASAP because they do have to get the grant approved to get what we need to get to the citizens' house. So it's exciting. We're looking forward to January and February, and fingers crossed that we have a successful Mardi Gras and our Black History Month events and activities. Any questions?
Black History activity,
Well, we got the parade and,
that been canceled.
Did you get any,
no ma'am,
clarification that it was canceled?
no
I mean,
ma'am.
I just saw it being.
He told me that it
Yeah, I
was.
talked to Mr. Slaughter, he's not gonna,
Yeah,
He's gonna cancel?
yeah, he
no
said it's
parade.
gonna cancel. But Rose, I know we got our handful, so whenever you get a chance with the council member, we can get started on Juneteenth, so we can be ahead of the game.
We've already booked the weekend for
Yeah.
Juneteenth, to get that done, and I guess if we don't have any other directions, or maybe I want to do something Black History Month, maybe not. That's it.
I remember one year that the city had, what they
We did a
was,
soul food festival and
for,
gospel festival.
Black
We did-
History.
Yeah.
I thought that was really nice.
We did
the
a
chocolate
walk
one.
and,
You're right.
so, I mean,
I mean, I would
We
have
have
liked
time.
the parade to, take place, but that didn't happen. But I mean, we
got
do
time
need
do the
to
parade.
do something in honor of Black History Month. It's not like we put
I
it
don't-
in 1 month.
I don't think we need any funds, but I can reach out to the nonprofits that are in the community and see if we can pull something together. Maybe I can present it to you next week.
And maybe if, the community center or women lead center may be available.
I mean, we allotted $3,000, we still could use that.
I'll present it next week, but let me go back and I'll give y'all a call and work on it. That's okay with you guys.
That's fine.
All right,
Appreciate it, Ms. Ross.
thank you.
All right, item number 5, discuss financial support for the crew of Good Friends of the Oaks Parade and the amount of $1,000. Mr. Gary?
Mr. Brown, that request has been withdrawn by the Committee for the Good Friends of the Oaks.
Okay.
I was wondering.
All right. All right, item number 6, adjourned.
Call the Personnel Committee to order, establish a quorum, can we have a roll call, please?
Mr. Hubble.
Here.
Ms. Gordon.
Present.
Mr. Riviere.
Here.
One present.
Item number 4, discuss police department request to hire 2 officers, namely, do you wanna go ahead and name them? I'm gonna let you go ahead and name them.
Okay, the first one is, Arthur Flott and David Greasy.
That's what you gonna say, you know, say your name.
No, he's familiar with it, so we need to.
Yeah,
Get that out of the way this week.
yeah, 2.5 weeks ago, I conducted, interviews for the vacancies I had in my department. Out those, interviews, these 2 applicants, stood out. Arthur Flott, both of them passed, all their background checks passed, cleared, called their references, all their references checked out good. Arthur Flott, he is a post-certified officer. He has prior law enforcement experience with St. James Parish. He's been in law enforcement for about the last 10 to 15 years. Mr. Greasy, he hasn't been in law enforcement. He was a reserve with the sheriff's office. Checked with his preferences and everything, which everything checked out good. He would, if hired, if y'all approve for the hiring, he would come in as a trainee. He'll be placed with an FTO officer for the time being until he goes to the post academy. There's one that just started. I don't know how all that's gonna pan out with this COVID epidemic that can kind of spiral out of control. So it's roughly about a 4-month academy. So right around maybe the end of April, middle of April, end of April, beginning of May, we arrested him to go to post academy. By then, the FTO officer that we placed him with, he'll get himself familiarized with the system, report writing, patrolling, all those things that he'll need. And once he, successfully graduates from the post academy, he'll come out and, he'll be good to go.
Where are they from, Chief?
David Greasy is from Baton Rouge, and Mr. Flott is from Baton Rouge also.
and what sheriff department was recent?
Greasy is a reserve with the West Baton Rouge Sheriff's Office.
Any other questions for the chief?
And Mr. Clyde, he was with St. James,
Yes, ma'am.
no longer with St. James.
I don't know if the time of his length with him, but he was with him for a while.
So he's not doing,
No, he's not doing anything now. But both of them outstanding gentlemen.
They'll be here next week though.
Huh?
They'll be here,
Next Wednesday.
yeah.
That's all for the chief? Okay, item number 5, adjourn.
Thank you.
Item number 1, call to order. Item number 2, establish a quorum. Item number 3, roll call.
Ms. Lacy,
Present.
Mr. Hubble,
Here.
Mr. Brown,
Here.
Warren's present.
Item number 4, discuss grade increases for those individuals recognized as employees of the year, namely Teresita Patan, HR Director of Payroll, step 117, grade C to step 117, grade D. Do we do it individually or just go down?
You're
the
not
list?
voting, this is just informative, so you can go read
You
through.
can just see
Yeah, just read through if
Okay.
you want.
Karen DeLoach, Administrative Coordinator, Secretary, step 111, grade F to step 111, grade G. Aaron Landry, Water and Gas Supervisor, step 114, grade U to step 114, grade V. Jennifer Avance, Police Administrative Coordinator, step 111, grade F to step 111, grade G. Michael Butler, Roads and Drainage, step 108, grade C to step 108, grade D. Teresa Pearson, DPW Administrative Coordinator, step 111, grade D to step 111, grade E. Fillmore Bradford Jr., WWT Supervisor, step 114, grade K to step 114, grade L. Darrell Lewis, Fleet Maintenance Supervisor, step 112, grade D to step 112, grade E. Adrian Daigle, Meter Reader, step 107, grade C to step 107, grade D. Carrie Tillman, Employee of the Year, step 109, grade F to step 109, grade H. Any
Agenda item.
questions? So, we'll make this agenda item for next week, agenda. Item number 5, discuss Mayor Lee's recommendation of a 2% across the board pay increase for all city employees. Mayor Lee?
Good evening, Council. This year, of course, last year, you know, we gave the employees a 3% across the board raise. And, this year, I'm recommending, a slight increase this year, based on what we went through with COVID, and we're getting ready to go through another epidemic. Hopefully it won't be as bad as it was last year. But, to keep up with the, cost of living, I think at least a 2% raise would be justified.
I think inflation was what, 6% or something?
What was
Sorry?
last year?
3%.
Yes, I'm saying 6%, inflation rate about 6%, so 2, it'll help them a little bit, you know?
Why are we giving 3 again this year? Or 4?
Well, once again, Ms. Gordon, we have to also, as you get these raises throughout the year, you have to budget for that, for the years after that, so.
Well, instead of giving all these employees,
They've been getting across the board raises just about every year after year. And that's why I implemented every 5 years, just in case we don't give them a raise, those employees, or they don't get a recognition raise at the end of the year, they will get a raise, at least a 2% raise. every
yeah, I
5
see what you're
years.
saying, but if you giving them 2% and the cost of living keep going up, instead of giving them certain people, elected people, a raise for Christmas or however you, I don't know what it is, it's a mayor raise or whatever. Just don't give them that, employee of the year or employee workers, just give them that whole raise, 3 or 4% raise across the board. That way everybody get a raise instead of one person get this raise, special raise, and then you get another 2% or 3%, they are ahead of everybody anyway. So just make it one big raise for everybody.
Well, Ms. Gordon, the purpose of the recognition is to recognize those individuals that go above.
They can get a plaque or certificate.
Okay, well, we'll give you a plaque and certificate.
I would love to have one. If I'm gonna get a raise at the end, so you still ahead,
Yes, ma'am.
right? If you give out plaques and certificate for, employee of the month, employee year, then at the end, at the beginning of the year, that 2% you giving there, then you give them 2%, and still you go out to 4%. So just give them 4% or 3% then.
Okay, whatever the council desire, I just propose for 2% raise beginning this year.
I think we should give them 3, but I'm just one person.
What kind of dollar amount is there, does the 2% come up to? per
I
year?
think Ms. McCain gave y'all a copy of that amount, I don't have it with me.
Give to where?
End of the day, we gotta do something, we're not gonna get
If
keep
you don't
up
have it,
calculation.
we'll see what you get before next week. I wasn't provided that information.
Yeah, she's, I think
So
she's.
she did run the numbers as far as I'm aware, I just hadn't seen the calculation.
Was that on the paper that we had the other day, we was talking about?
Yeah, that was the total cost of what,
Yeah.
the 2% would cost the city.
Yeah, because I think she broke it down to 2%, 3%, and 4%.
Yeah, what it's gonna cost the city in the next 6 months to this year's over, and that's gonna cost us next year.
So they get their step, their grade increase, they get that along with the 2%.
No,
You mean these?
Those that did get.
Certain
they did
ones,
get-
yeah,
they did get-
everybody.
These certain-
She talking about the ones that she called out.
yeah, that just the selected ones, not everybody.
Well, I guess in a sense that don't seem too fair.
Yeah, but if on any other job, everybody don't get a raise at the same time.
I think some people may deserve to get paid more, like in some departments. You know, I do feel like some departments work harder than others. And they don't, it look like with road and drainage, water, that they don't see much from basic, what I
If any of these are repeater, employees of the month, or if they're, all of them new, never had it before, or what?
Yeah, they repeat.
They repeat? So nobody else gonna get none, just to repeat? I mean, if you're gonna do it, I think we should just make sure everybody be able to get a raise, cause everybody work hard.
Yeah, but just to play devil's advocate, it is a 2% across the board, so everybody get that, but everybody don't get,
A raise.
yeah.
But not the same people though.
Not-
And that 2% will be good for some people and just a spit.
Yeah, it's just good for the people who's making.
Who making high money, gonna be good for people like who
Right.
making high money,
Right,
who making,
70,000.
A good salary.
Yeah, I would like to see the numbers, you know, even, which, and I'll contact Ms. McCain, like what the recognition rate, what that adds up to, and then with the 2%, 3% across the board, what it all adds up to. I don't really like the idea, you know, of like repeat the same, I mean, I don't know who they are, because I don't remember from one year to the next.
Right.
Like repeat recognition raises. So.
Well, once again, like I said, Mr. Riviere, those are individuals that go above and beyond their minimum requirements in that classification. And if you don't do it,
like I say, we can give them plaque and certificate, they'll be happy.
And they supervisor recognize them for this, correct?
No, I thought you did,
They do a performance evaluation of the employee, and I look at that, what they did,
but then you can change whoever they select, correct?
man.
You can't change whoever they select. If they select this person and you decide you don't want that person to have it, you change it, right?
I only have a certain number of categories I feel, and I look at everybody's. And I make a decision.
Well, like I said, that's good to have, but why not invest in giving certificate plaque and at the beginning of the year, whatever 2% you're gonna give them then, we can give them more at the beginning of the year. There's a cost of living. They still will get the percentage regardless.
But once again,
I mean, I'm just trying to be fair to everybody, you know.
but once again, the only thing I disagree with across the board raises is that the people at the top benefits from across the board.
Yeah, but we
Well,
can't
I would
punish the
definitely
ones
like to see
that
our
low.
fellas in roads, you know, some of those, yeah, I like them, yeah, to see them make, a salary where they could, you know, take care of their family. I would like to see that they salary raised, really, I would.
Because they have to pay for the insurance and the
I mean,
insurance.
those are the ones who really, you know, earn it,
Yeah.
yeah, not saying everybody, but, hey, they keeping the city,
Right.
beautified. They there when we sleep, you know. I would like to see them get what's due to them.
And I know this is kind of spurred of the moment, would it be possible, I don't know, just like to give everybody $2,000 a year raise? It might be 8% for one person, but somebody who's making, you know what I mean?
Well, you
Seven.
can probably do, I don't know if that'll be Attorney's question, but you probably give your supervisor 2% raise and give your board employees a 4%
Like
raise.
give
Yeah, that's what I would rather see that instead of
Give 'em
making
2
them rich
steps.
and then put the ones lower up.
give the lower wage earners 2
More.
steps, 4%. It's just more.
Can we do that?
That's,
Evan?
Well, we can look at it, but I would think that's gonna be okay. I think you could do it either a lump sum amount for across the board.
That would
It's gonna
be
be a
changing the whole
percentage,
pay.
it's just yeah, I think you could do it as a lump sum amount, everybody gets the same amount, or I think you could do it on a, kind of a sliding scale where the percentage is higher on your low end, and then the percentage goes down as you go to the employees who have higher salaries. It'd just be a matter of crafting it, but I think that can be done.
Yeah, I'd rather see that instead of making the ones that the highest salary richer than the ones that don't have salary poor. I mean,
So it look like we like kind of just work out maybe the logistics with that. We all seem to agree that
yeah.
the, like the lower, the roads and drainage, those, what would that be, Lord?
Lower.
Yeah, then we all agree that they should be
Get more money.
being paid more. I think the whole board can agree with that.
And the
Probably
ones-
need to come up with several proposals on what you're looking at, and then give it to accounting, so that accounting can run the numbers on,
Yeah.
the different types of proposals, cause you need to see what the numbers are gonna be, regardless, before you, pull the trigger on any
Yeah.
actual plan.
Mayor, do you feel comfortable with that idea?
I don't understand it.
I'm just asking, cause I mean, we just asking, we got to work together,
But it look like it's gonna, we make this an agenda item, we still gonna just kind of work, go with order, get some numbers, figures.
Yeah, you can still make it an agenda item and discuss it,
Okay.
whether you're ready to actual vote on it by next week, it just depends on, how far you get, but you can still make it an agenda item.
Okay. Well, we'll make this an agenda item for next week to discuss Mayor Lee's recommendation of a 2% across the board pay increase for all city employees.
So how would it go in effect, what we asking about,
Just change the amount, it's not
I mean, would that be on there also on the agenda about the 4%, for the lower paid employees and 2% for the high paid
That would be
employees?
this conversation, right? This is not in stone, this amount.
This is not in stone, the agenda item can just be discussed recommendation of across the board rate
Across
increase.
Okay.
Without a percentage there.
Yeah, you just don't have to
I
put
just
it
wanna
on.
make sure we
That is
have it
still,
on the agenda.
that is still an item up for debate, is how it's gonna, how the across the board raise would be handled. Whether it's a set number across the board, or whether it's some kind of tiered approach.
Yeah, you have to provide parameters. All of it has to fit within the current salary structure utilized by the city. So if you give us the information relative to what you want to accomplish, that can be crafted into a particular number or strategy in order to implement that goal. You have to tell us what you're trying to do. It's my understanding that at this point, finance has run numbers at 2, 3, just 2?
And 3,
2 and 3, and maybe 5.
She did 4 too.
4. So she's run numbers at 2%, 3%, 4%. So those numbers are set. I just haven't seen them. So we can probably get that to you within a couple of days.
Okay.
Between now and next week, if that's not sufficient, then feedback, let us know what else you want to see, and then we'll go from there.
Okay. Item number 6, adjournment.
Mayor correspondence, we have very little, just be aware, council, that, we just had, beginning this year, with all the news reports of, the COVID, cases have increased, and the new strain has increased, so, I will be coming out with a mandate that once you're in any public building, you must wear a mask, and until this situation gets better. We do have the Good Friends of Oaks Parade coming up in the end of February. Hopefully we'll have a better idea whether that will go on the plan. If it's a possibility, it may be canceled, possibly it won't. Also, this weekend, Mr. Slaughter is giving a balloon giveaway, a balloon release for his son who passed away last year, and that will be held Saturday on Elm Street. Other than that,
At what time, Mel, sir? From
2 to 8,
2 to 8, yeah, 2 to 8.
or 1 to 3.
2 to 8 or 3 to 8, one.
Yeah, I think it's 1 to 3.
Wait, what's the time?
I can get it for you, I got it down in
Okay.
my office.
On Elm Street?
That's the
Right
fair.
off of, between Roosevelt and Washington Street.
And they doing a balloon release?
Balloon release, yes.
Okay. Man, I don't know if
And
you
how
know.
about Mr. Eddie?
What about Mr. Eddie? They done a Hall of Fame induction for Mr. Eddie Friday night before Bruley and Portland High varsity game.
Okay. And if anybody wants to attend, you got to get your tickets before the game. It's a whole lot cheaper.
Okay,
To get it from the school.
okay.
And other than that, anybody else?
And we want to thank, Mr. Adrian Dagan for his treats.
Yeah.
Appreciate that, because he thought about us.
I really wanna give a huge thank you to Ms. Rose Roche. I mean, the Christmas event was just magnificent. And I was hurt that, you know, we can't help about the weather, about nature. But you actually did a wonderful job, Rose, and people really, I appreciate it. And
We all
And I
appreciate it.
appreciate everything that you do. Thank you.
Yeah, and that's the hardest thing about putting on activities outside, you can't predict Mother Nature. So, and it's a blessing that we did. Now, we did present the city with the money to put on this event, and it's just unfortunate that, Mother Nature played a big part in what transpired. But So we look forward for
But
next
some of the
week.
vendors say they did pretty good, Friday and that Sunday.
Mhm.
So, you know, they was really happy and they enjoyed
Yeah.
it. Just the rain, Saturday just rained
Saturday,
us out.
it just lingered all day.
And then it made it so cold.
And there's other things that we used to, the cold weather, the hot weather, you
Mhm.
know, you got to adjust.
Like
that.
today.
Oh, and with the COVID, with the numbers, with the percentage, are we gonna have to adhere to any of closures when the numbers like increase, like we don't have to look?
Yeah, I'm right now listening to the news report with the governor and also with their room, and I kind of pick it back off of what they do, and also past president,
Cause we do, I guess we wanna make
Right.
our businesses, you know,
everybody's
be
saying.
aware.
Cause the other thing too, if Baton Rouge closed, I don't want to have one parade over here and everybody come to our parade because there's no other parade to go to, and you know, we had this big
Come on, breathe
outbreak,
zone.
so if Baton Rouge don't have the parade, we probably won't have ours.
Ready for that heat, man?
So we gonna keep our fingers crossed. Yeah. Well, I'm giving fair warning, so.
Yeah, that's all, just make sure we make them aware that it's a possibility.
Yes, ma'am.
That's it.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank y'all. Y'all have a good night.